Hey everybody, this is Chris the Ancient Scholar. Hope this video finds you all doing well. I know it has been quite a while since I've posted any content. Sorry about that. Been a little busy. All right, so let's do a quick video talking about some of the structures of the eye. And these are some anatomical structures where it tends to be a fair amount of confusion, and I hopefully aim to assist you all in understanding these structures. And these structures are the sclera versus the conjunctiva, or conjunctiva versus the cornea of the eye. What are they, where are they located, and what's their general role? So when you look at the sclera, all right, the sclera of the eye, that's the white of the eye. When you look at somebody's eye, that's the white part. And the sclera is a tough fibrous capsule, really. It's full of little collagen fibers that are kind of randomly interspaced, and it's kind of tough and provides the overall structure for the globe or the eye itself. It's about 1 millimeter thick, at its thickest, a little less than that, maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of a millimeter thick at its thinnest, where the muscles attach to the eye, to the sclera. So that's what the sclera is. And then on the outer part, where the eye interfaces with the external environment, you have this clear wedge-shaped structure that sits on top of the eye, and that is what the light comes through, goes through this clear structure, enters this little hole here. You've got some muscle, the iris, that contracts and relaxes, and that's what creates the pupil. The pupil is just a hole, and the light passes through this structure that sits on the outer part of the eye, through that hole into the lens, and all that goodness happens. But this clear outer wedge-shaped structure that sits on a part of the eye that allows that light to go in is what we call the cornea. All right, so the cornea sits on top. It's transparent, so it doesn't have any color to it. And then when you look at somebody's eye, when you see the white, that's actually part of the sclera. And then in the body, anytime you have an external part of the body an internal part of the body rather, interfacing with the external environment, you have what's called a mucosa, right? You've got the mucociliary escalator in your lungs. You've got the mucous membranes that line your intestines, your stomach, right? You've got mucosal membranes that line the urethra and the vagina, right? Anywhere the internal part of the body is interfacing with the external environment, you're going to have a mucosal layer or lining, and that is exactly the same with the eye. The outermost part of the eye, where the eye and its associated structures come into contact with the external environment, you have a mucosa that lines these structures, and it is packed, it's jam-packed with immune cells to help protect the underlying structures from all of the bacteria and viruses and toxins and whatnot, dusts and molds in the external environment. And that transparent mucosa that lines this is called the conjunctiva or the conjunctiva, and the mucosa actually invaginates a little bit on the upper and lower parts of the eye, kind of flips in on itself, and then attaches to the lower and upper eyelids. So it doesn't just line the eye, it actually lines the eye, invaginates, and then attaches to the upper and lower eyelids. And that's called the conjunctiva. It is a clear, thin mucosa that's jam-packed with immune cells that then protects the underlying structures, the cornea and the sclera, and then structures even deeper to those. So that's essentially what you're dealing with when you hear the sclera versus the cornea versus the conjunctiva or conjunctiva. So hopefully this video makes some sense and clears any confusion up around these three anatomical structures. Thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.